In Montague County begin their case of convincing the jury a woman involved in a double fatality was intoxicated, even though they are not allowed to introduce results of her blood alcohol test. 55-year-old Terry Sanders of Nocona is now charged with 2 counts of intoxicated manslaughter in connection with the deaths of 20-year-olds Kyle Kemp of Burke Burnett and Brent Winkler of Iowa Park back in 2015. Investigators say Sanders was traveling the wrong way on Highway 82 west of Nocona and collided head-on with Winkler's vehicle, killing him and Kemp on contact. Now, Lana McBride was there for the very first day of testimony and has more details.
His opening statement, Special Prosecutor John Gillespie told jurors a field sobriety test was not an option at the scene or at the hospital because Terry Sanders had suffered a broken ankle, and the state intends to show she was intoxicated without that evidence or blood alcohol. Gillespie said Sanders had multiple ways to get home from an office party in Wichita Falls besides driving herself, which could have saved 2 lives. The man who was first to come on the accident testified when he asked Sanders if she was okay. He smelled alcohol on her breath. The 2 state troopers who conducted the investigation also took the stand. Lead investigator on the crash, DPS trooper Rachel Russell, testified alcohol and possibly drugs caused the driver to be impaired. The other trooper was Brandon Neff, who was going to administer the field sobriety test, but didn't because EMTs took Sanders to the hospital. And once at the hospital, he said he performed the horizontal gaze test and determined Sanders was intoxicated. When Sanders refused the request for a blood sample at the hospital, court records state Neff ordered one drawn without a warrant. The defense questions how he could have effectively administered the eye test and asked why he didn't use alternative methods. Trooper Neff testified following that sobriety test, Sanders was under arrest, but at a previous hearing, he said she was not under arrest at that time. Sanders' attorney later challenged the blood draw, and the results were ruled inadmissible in trial. That ruling was upheld on appeals. After those appeals, Montague County District Attorney Casey Polimas decided to move forward with the trial anyway, hoping to convince a jury Sanders was intoxicated without introducing blood alcohol results. And 2 people who were co-workers of Sanders and were at the party also testified, saying they both saw her drinking that night. The defense says they will present witnesses who were also at that party and have a different opinion on what happened and how the crash happened. Back to you.
All right, Landon, thank you. Now, tomorrow may include parents of the 2 men who died and another man who was injured that evening.
Also